You know it's a good day when you can side by side to work. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time with the channel, welcome to the channel. Today is day 2 of working on this land clearing job for some fantastic customers. These guys live several hours away, but they have family down in our area and they want to build a little home away from home, a little getaway so they can come down here and enjoy time with their family in this area and just enjoy our area. I said area far too many times for an intro. I'm not happy about it, but listen, we're a one take kind of crew, so we're just going. I also don't have a crew, it's just me. Goal in today's video is finish the tree clearing, get all the trees cleaned up and piled up so they're ready to burn this winter when we get a good snow. A little bit of cleanup with the skid steer, and fingers crossed we can get the D4 dozer trucked in today. We're just gonna do a little bit of work in here in the beginning, and the rest of it will all fall into place. I got this bunch of 3 trees right here. This should be the last of the small trees. This is what I want to take down next. This big old ugly dead tree. That black locust. And those 2 maples have to go too. But I want to get this hazard out of the way. There's not much holding her, just a few hopes and prayers. like that all the way up. Pretty dangerous. I'm not super excited about it, but here we are. It's not really a good place to put it. A little bit of a trail right there, so maybe right down through there. I don't know, she doesn't have enough left in her to try to steer it or do anything crazy. We kind of got to go where she wants to go. And I think that's where she's going to want to go. Talked about it before, but on these things, they're super dangerous. If you bump into the bottom of that, it just wiggles its way up, and then that stuff will start breaking out and falling down on you. So we want to just make contact nice and slow, nice and easy. If you go too fast, that top will fall back. We just that direction, nice and easy. That's the goal. We will see what happens. All right, you guys ready? I'm ready. Okay, all right. Show you, this is what I was talking about. You see the way this thing broke right here? There's just nothing holding it. There's a big old crack. If we pushed on that super hard and super fast, it could push the bottom through, the top coming back, break it into a point like that. Back onto the machine, so we avoided it. That's good, that's good. This is good, things are good. Things are looking up. Well, down, that's looking down, but the rest of these, they're all alive. And that's easier. I do think pieces like this is where the grapple on that skid steer is going to come in handy. Excuse me, just need to get in my machine real quick. Thank you. Okay. If I make myself a path and I set these out right, that grapple on the skid steer is going to be way better for these logs. We're going to find out real quick. Life this stump has in it. Not a lot, but a little bit. This black locust is next. Not a monster by any means. She's got some tricks on her though. Don't touch the hairy ones, okay? Don't do it. You're not going to be happy with the rest of your evening. See these lower branches where they're kind of orangish, reddish? Those are poison ivy leaves. The poison ivy will branch off of those trees. The actual black locust leaves are all the way at the top. I'll show you when it gets on the ground. These lower limbs, that's poison ivy from that hairy vine. She's leaning that way, but I'd like it to lay this way for me. That would make my life easier on the cleanup side of things. A little bit of digging on the sides and the back side and try to get that root loosened up the best we can. And we'll see if we can't give it a push. I think we got her going in the right direction. Oh. Yeah, we're all right. Beautiful. Get a little closer look at that. I mean, legit branches. That's what it does. Leaves the 3. There she is, bub. You want to stay away from that, fellas. You want to stay away from that. The actual leaves on a black locust are these. Kind of nice, kind of cool. They're pretty. It's a pretty tree. That's the actual canopy. Poison ivy. You know the classic rhyme? Poison ivy, beautiful in the fall, but you better keep it off your ball. Get these tops and that poison ivy all snagged up and in a pile down here at the end of the drive where we're getting this stuff cleared out, and then we'll come back over and do that smaller maple next. It's got a little bit of a tricky value to it as well. So that T-post right there, on the other side of that is the Hoosier National Forest. Well, there's a pink ribbon. I don't know if you can see a pink ribbon. There's another T-post down through there. Probably definitely can't see that. Anyway, Hoosier National Forest, and that maple, it's definitely leaning that way, but I think that one's small enough that we can get it to push back this way as well. So that's going to be the next task. I got the roots dug out how I want them. Let's see what we get here. Beautiful. Take that too. This rig wasn't doing too hot anyway. That's not what the inside of a maple should look like. Nope. No, it is not. So this maple is the only tree on the job where I thought maybe I should go ahead and rent and truck in the John Deere 120 from Dirt Perfect. It's the only tree that I think is too big for the machine I have on site. But when I sat down and I did the math, the cost of trucking the 120 in for one tree versus just spending a little bit of extra time with the Mini on the same tree, it didn't really make sense to me. I do wish I had a bigger machine for this, but cost-wise, it just makes the most sense since this is what is here, and it would cost a pretty substantial amount to truck the 120 in here, not to mention it's a pretty tricky job site to get to. This is the option I went with. I don't know if it's the best option, but it made the most sense to me. And I don't know if you know this, but me is the one that's doing it. So here we are. We'll see what happens here. So we're trying a little bit different technique, a technique I've used with bigger machines on larger trees, but it should scale to what we're doing here. The other thing to mention is that just the way this thing chased the sunlight that way, not only do we have a little lean the direction we need to go, but most of the top weight, the branches, are that way as well. So that kind of helps us out. I didn't have enough horsepower to push this thing out without being dug out on the front, so we're digging out on the front now. You just got to really pay attention and make sure it's not moving. It shouldn't, but give this a try real quick. I like where we're going there. Just keep going that way. There we go. That'll work. We're gonna run 372. Got this off eBay, put a little time into it. It's not a bad saw. I'm gonna set it down. I ripped my shoulder out today. Do that. So with those logs cut, should be able to kind of pull these out of the way now. Get that stump out of the hole, get that hole filled in. Then we'll get the tops moved out of the burn pile. Take a gander at the inside of this log. Can I get it up to you? Let me see. Can you see it there? Inside that tree didn't look too hot either, so I don't think, even though it's a nice larger tree, I don't think it had much left on it anyway. By the blue flag right there. The water department has been by to mark the utilities. Still waiting on the fiber company and the electric company. We should be good on those, but I'd like to get the OK painted on the pavement. We're packed down the best we can. Whatever falls out, and we'll be back for the rest. A little side boom for a low profile trip. Away we go. I know nothing ever looks steep on this GoPro, but it's pretty steep in here. We don't have the dozer yet, but what we're gonna do is just kind of shove some of this stuff downhill out of the way, and I gotta make myself a little ramp so I get this skid steer in and out of this to pack those logs out. issue I had with the limbs on this is a rock grapple. And I was trying to use it for that brush. The way this is, how smooth like that, even with these closed tight, I try to grab that brush in the pile and pull out, and the brush will just roll out from underneath of my jaws, clampers, grapple, I don't know. My solution at some point would be to adjust the way this is, weld a solid piece of plate on the side with some serrations. But we're kind of figuring this thing out, trying to make it multi-purpose. Biggest thing is this grapple's pretty sticky. Or the pedals, I mean. So there's a log, but I feel like we could probably get two. Somebody asked, could I reroute my hydraulic valving to accept like an electric solenoid so I could run my grapple or third auxiliary function off of a switch? I would like to think so. Look at that, that's two logs. Stack them with this, we'll just get them down here. We can bring the excavator down to throw them on higher. That'll work. That'll work. I cannot get over how well that setup just worked. That looks so good. Just a few more, oh, I'd say 10 more rounds through here and just snagging that pile of junk and taking it down to the burn pile. Some of this we'll leave for topsoil, obviously, and we'll doze that off when we get to that. But we don't want to bury a bunch of half limbs and half trees, and we don't want these root wads to have to mess with when it comes to finishing this outer bank. So the more of that stuff we can get out of the way now and lose onto the burn pile whenever we burn, better off we're gonna be. I tried giving that a shove. She didn't quite take. We know we got a dozer coming, so no sense of tearing anything up. I gotta get to town. I'll see you guys in the morning. It is a new morning, a little late in the morning, but we had some other things to take care of this morning. I wanna get the rest of this cleanup knocked out. We're gonna take that, we're gonna go up there and we're just gonna start working all the stuff there down to a pile, grab it and taking it down to the burn pile. How's that for a clearing, huh? Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Man, you know, I might talk to him about that maple. It'd probably make our life a little easier if we got rid of it. Anytime I've ever taken the effort to work around a tree, it always ends up dying anyway. The road's gonna come around, and we're cutting a lot out of that bank and a lot out of that road on the top end. It's gonna be a long push for the dozer, but it is what it is. And then filling all that in, that's the goal. These two hickories, I have no concern. They're very tolerant to root disturbance. Two types of hickories, but both hickories. Very tolerant to root disturbance, they'll be fine coming through there. This maples don't like root disturbance. And she's being eaten on pretty good. Oh, there we got another hairy one. I don't know what that's all about. She doesn't look, she's got some pretty heavy discoloration. It's hard to tell this time of year if it's an unhealthy top or if it's just, you know, fallen, because that tree's great and it's lost some. We'll see. We'll just have to see as we start pushing across here and cutting the bank if we have to get into that or not. But we'll leave it open as an option. I'll reach out to him. Here's what we're looking like. Pretty dang good. That is it for the tree clearing. That step is finished, minus that potential there. Looking good coming up through here. Not bad at all. That's gonna leave them a whole strip of trees right down the middle. Road's up there, so they have this whole strip of trees. A drive, strip of trees, pretty decent amount of privacy, kind of tucked back there in the corner against the forest. I think it's gonna work out really nicely. And the other great news is we got the clear from the power company and the fiber optic company that there's nothing underground here. The water lines have been marked. So we're ready to start doing some of this cut work. That is it for this video, but it's not it for me down here today. I still gotta get the dozer in. Mike's using the truck, the triaxle today, and that's what I'm gonna truck it in with. Should be done with it next week. I don't know if you can tell, but from where that side-by-side is to where I'm at, that's probably a good 4 feet of difference. She's pretty cattywampus here, and I don't know if you've ever offloaded a dozer on a trailer. This isn't the good way to do it, unless you want a viral video, which I do want, but not at the cost of an upside-down dozer. So we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way, with the excavator and the skid steer, and get me a little bit of a level ramp in here where I can cram that trailer off. That's how I'm finishing this day out. If it's your first Captain Kleeman video, welcome. And if you've been with us for a while, welcome back. How about them turns? That was fancy. Choreography. My back just isn't made for it these days. All right, catch you later.